the Khwarezmian Empire, how would history be different? What would the world even look like today? Before we dive into that, I would like to go over the events that took place between the Mongols and the Khwarezmian Empire. Before we start, if you happen to enjoy this video and find value in it, I would greatly appreciate it if you left a like so that this video reaches more people. Additionally, if you don't want to miss out on more videos, why not subscribe? That way you will be notified every time I upload a new video. Now let's get into this, shall we? In the early 13th century, two titanic forces prepared to clash, shaping the course of history in Central Asia. Muhammad II, the Shah of the Khwarezmian Empire, ruled a vast and prosperous realm stretching from present-day Iran to the borders of India. His empire was a nexus of trade, culture, and wealth, boasting some of the most advanced cities of the era, such as Samarkand and Bukhara. In contrast, lesser known at the time, Temujin, later known as Genghis Khan, the formidable leader of the Mongol Empire, commanded a nomadic horde known for their unparalleled military prowess and ferocity. The impending collision between these two powers was not merely a struggle for territory, but a battle of fundamentally different civilizations. Muhammad II ascended to the throne of Khwarezm in 1200, inheriting an empire that had risen to prominence under the Seljuk Turks and later the Khwarezm Shahs. His rule saw the empire expand and flourish, becoming a crucial hub in the Silk Road network. The Shah's court was a center of learning and culture, attracting scholars, poets, and artists from across the Islamic world. However, Muhammad II's reign was also marked by a series of ambitious and aggressive policies aimed at consolidating and expanding his power, often at the expense of neighboring states and tribes. Meanwhile, far to the northeast, Temujin was uniting the disparate Mongol tribes under his banner through a combination of diplomacy, strategic marriages, and ruthless warfare. By 1206, he had established the Mongol Empire, proclaimed himself the Great Khan, and set his sights beyond the Mongolian steppes. His conquests were fueled by innovative military strategies, including the use of highly mobile cavalry units and psychological warfare. The Mongols' swift and devastating campaigns quickly earned them a reputation as an unstoppable force. The first contact between the Khwarezmian Empire and the Mongol Empire occurred under seemingly peaceful circumstances. In 1218, Temujin, seeking to establish trade relations and possibly even an alliance, sent a large caravan of 500 men to the Khwarezmian city of Otrar. This caravan was laden with valuable goods, symbolizing the Mongols' desire for commerce rather than conflict. However, the governor of Otrar, suspecting the caravan to be a Mongol reconnaissance mission or a cover for spies, seized the traders and executed them, an act that would set off a chain reaction of events leading to war. Infuriated by this affront, Genghis Khan sought to resolve the issue diplomatically. He sent 3 ambassadors to Muhammad II, demanding the release of the caravan and the punishment of the governor of Otrar. The Shah, however, was either unable or unwilling to comprehend the gravity of the situation. Influenced by his advisors, who underestimated the Mongol threat, Muhammad II ordered the execution of 1 ambassador and sent the other 2 back with their hair shaven, a grave insult in the Mongol culture. Genghis Khan, now left with no recourse but war, meticulously planned his retaliation. Understanding the strength and resilience of the Khwarezmian cities, he prepared his forces for a campaign that would be both swift and brutal. In 1219, he launched his invasion, leading a massive army across the steppes and into the heart of Khwarezm. The Mongols moved with unparalleled speed and coordination, employing their legendary tactics of mobility and psychological warfare to devastating effect. City after city fell to the Mongol onslaught, with each conquest marked by ruthless efficiency and strategic brilliance. The events leading up to the clash between Muhammad II and Genghis Khan were a tragic series of misunderstandings, miscalculations, and diplomatic failures. What began as a potential alliance turned into one of the most brutal invasions in history, setting the stage for a conflict that would reshape the region and leave an indelible mark on both empires. As the Mongol horde descended upon the Khwarezmian Empire, the world watched in awe and terror, knowing that the outcome of this monumental struggle would echo through the ages. This legendary event was beautifully highlighted in my favorite book, The 48 Laws of Power. This war played a huge role in shaping the world we know today. But now, what if the Mongols lost the war? While we can't really know for sure, we will do our best to answer this question in this hypothetical scenario. In this alternate history, the initial Mongol invasions of Khwarezmian cities met with unexpected resistance. The Khwarezmian Shah, Muhammad Sekou, instead of underestimating the Mongols, took the threat seriously from the beginning. He fortified his cities and united various factions within his empire, rallying his troops with promises of defending their homeland against the foreign invaders. Aided by his generals, Muhammad II implemented a strategy that combined scorched earth tactics, guerrilla warfare, and the use of spies to disrupt Mongol communications and supply lines. He also formed alliances with neighboring states threatened by the Mongol expansion, creating a coalition that was better equipped to counter the Mongol tactics. The decisive battle took place near the city of Samarkand. Muhammad II managed to lure the Mongol forces into a trap. Using his superior knowledge of the terrain, the Shah's forces executed a series of ambushes and surprise attacks. The Khwarezmian army, bolstered by reinforcements from allied states, outmaneuvered the Mongols. The combination of attrition, strategic encirclement, and relentless attacks from multiple fronts led to a catastrophic defeat for the Mongols. With the Mongol forces in disarray and suffering heavy casualties, Genghis Khan faced a grim reality. His attempt to subjugate the Khwarezmian Empire had failed spectacularly, and his once invincible army was now retreating back to the Mongolian steppes, harried by Khwarezmian forces. In the chaos following the Mongol defeat at the hands of the Khwarezmian Empire, Genghis Khan's fate took a grim turn. As his forces retreated in disarray, the weakened state of the Mongol army made the great Khan vulnerable. Amidst the turmoil, he was captured by Khwarezmian forces, who recognized the immense value in securing the Mongol leader. Genghis Khan now faced execution, a fate designed to demoralize the Mongol ranks and destabilize their leadership structure. His capture would have precipitated a fierce power struggle among his successors, plunging the Mongol Empire into a period of internal conflict and uncertainty. This pivotal moment marked a dramatic shift in the Mongol narrative, with the once unstoppable conqueror meeting an untimely and ignominious end. It is important to note that in this scenario, the world would have never known Genghis Khan, as he was still known as Temujin at this point. The Mongol Empire would likely fragment as rival factions and ambitious generals vied for power. The absence of their unifying leader would exacerbate existing tensions and rivalries within the Mongol hierarchy, leading to intense power struggles. The empire could split into several factions, each controlled by different leaders, resulting in a loss of cohesion and central authority. A fierce succession crisis would ensue, with various contenders for leadership emerging from within Genghis Khan's family and inner circle. His sons, most notably Jochi, Chagatai, Agedei, and Tolui, might compete for supremacy, each backed by different factions within the empire. This internal conflict could lead to a prolonged period of instability, weakening the Mongol military and administrative structures. The internal strife would significantly weaken the Mongol military, leading to potential losses of territories they had previously conquered. Subject peoples and vassal states, sensing the weakened state of their overlords, might revolt or seek independence. Neighboring states, previously threatened by Mongol expansion, could seize the opportunity to reclaim lost territories or even launch counterattacks, further eroding Mongol control. The loss of Genghis Khan would undoubtedly impact the Mongol military strategy, but it is likely that the core tactics that made the Mongol army so feared would still be employed, albeit with some modifications. The Mongols' reliance on highly mobile cavalry units and their ability to move swiftly across vast distances would remain a cornerstone of their military strategy. This tactic was deeply ingrained in Mongol culture and training, making it likely to persist even without Genghis Khan. The use of psychological warfare, including fear tactics, deception, and propaganda, would still be a key element of Mongol strategy. These methods were effective in breaking the will of enemies and securing swift victories, and future Mongol leaders would likely continue to employ them. One of the strengths of the Mongol military was its adaptability and willingness to learn from enemies. This characteristic would endure, allowing the Mongols to integrate new techniques and technologies from other cultures and the conflicts they encountered. The loss of Genghis Khan would necessitate changes in leadership and possibly affect the coordination and unity of the Mongol forces. Future leaders might need to refine their command structures to maintain effective communication and coordination across their armies. In response to their defeat, the Mongols might adopt new tactics and strategies learned from their adversaries, particularly the Khwarezmians. This could include improved siege techniques, defensive strategies, and enhanced use of intelligence and espionage. Previously focused on offensive expansion, the Mongols might place greater emphasis on defensive preparations to protect their territories from retaliatory attacks. This could involve building fortifications, establishing more permanent military bases, and developing strategies for defending key locations. Recognizing the importance of diplomacy, the Mongols might form strategic alliances with neighboring states to bolster their military capabilities and secure their borders. This shift could lead to a more balanced approach combining military might with diplomatic efforts. As for the Khwarezmian Empire, the victory over the Mongols would greatly enhance the prestige and influence of the Khwarezmian Empire. This triumph would be seen as a testament to their military prowess and strategic acumen, bolstering their reputation across Central Asia and beyond. With the Mongol threat neutralized, the Khwarezmian Empire could focus on consolidating and expanding its territories. They might reclaim lands lost to Mongol incursions and push their borders further into neighboring regions, establishing greater control over the Silk Road trade routes. To prevent future invasions, the Khwarezmians would likely invest in strengthening their borders. This could involve building fortifications, establishing garrisons, and maintaining a standing army ready to defend against any external threats. The Khwarezmian military would be celebrated for its success and would likely undergo further strengthening. They would analyze the battle tactics that led to their victory over the Mongols and integrate any valuable lessons into their military doctrine. Having experienced Mongol warfare firsthand, the Khwarezmians might adopt some of the Mongol tactics that proved effective. This could include greater emphasis on cavalry mobility, hit-and-run tactics, and psychological warfare. The Khwarezmian military might also invest in technological advancements, such as improved siege weaponry and armor. They would seek to stay ahead in military innovation to ensure they could defend against any future threats. With the Mongol threat eliminated, the Khwarezmian Empire could secure and dominate key trade routes, particularly those along the Silk Road. This control would lead to increased wealth and economic prosperity, as the empire becomes a central hub for commerce between the East and West. The influx of wealth from trade would likely lead to significant infrastructure development. The Khwarezmian rulers would invest in building roads, caravanserais, and marketplaces to facilitate trade and ensure the smooth movement of goods across their empire. The economic prosperity would also lead to a cultural renaissance. The Khwarezmian Empire, already known for its cultural achievements, would attract scholars, artists, and artisans from across the Islamic world and beyond, leading to a flourishing of arts, science, and literature. The victory over the Mongols would likely consolidate Muhammad's power and authority. This success would strengthen his position and help unify the various factions within the empire, leading to greater internal stability. The Khwarezmian Empire would likely seek to build and strengthen alliances with neighboring states. These alliances would serve as a buffer against future threats and help establish a network of friendly states that could support each other in times of need. With their enhanced status, the Khwarezmians would engage in more active diplomacy with other major powers, such as the Abbasid Caliphate, the Byzantine Empire, and the Indian kingdoms. They would use their victory as a leverage point in negotiations and alliances. The influx of wealth and stability would lead to a cultural and intellectual renaissance within the Khwarezmian Empire. Patronage of the arts and sciences would increase, with the empire becoming a center of learning and cultural exchange. As a major trade hub, the Khwarezmian Empire would see an influx of diverse cultures and ideas. This cosmopolitan environment would foster a rich cultural tapestry, blending influences from Persia, Central Asia, the Islamic world, and beyond. With increased resources, the Khwarezmian rulers might establish universities and libraries, attracting scholars from across the world. This focus on education would lead to advancements in various fields, including mathematics, astronomy, medicine, and philosophy. In this alternate scenario, the Khwarezmian Empire would emerge as a dominant regional power with enhanced military capabilities, economic prosperity, and cultural influence. The defeat of the Mongols would serve as a catalyst for military reforms, territorial expansion, and diplomatic advancements. The empire would likely experience a period of stability and growth, becoming a central hub for trade and cultural exchange in Central Asia. The Khwarezmian Empire's victory would not only reshape its own destiny, but also alter the balance of power in the region, leaving a lasting impact on the course of history. Khwarezmian dominance. The Khwarezmian Empire Ayur-TM's victory would establish it as a dominant power in Central Asia. This could lead to a prolonged period of stability and prosperity in the region, with the Khwarezmian state playing a central role in trade and cultural exchange along the Silk Road. Absence of the Mongol Empire. Without the Mongol Empire's rise, the political landscape of Central Asia and the Middle East would be markedly different. The fragmentation and decentralization often seen in these regions during the Mongol invasions might not occur, allowing for stronger, more cohesive states to emerge. Europe. Delayed or altered Renaissance. The Mongol Empire's conquests and the resulting Pax Mongolica significantly facilitated east-west trade and cultural exchanges. Without the Mongol unification of Eurasia, the flow of knowledge, goods, and technologies from the east to Europe might be slower, potentially delaying or altering the course of the Renaissance. Different crusades. Outcome. The Mongol threat often influenced European politics and the outcomes of the Crusades. With a powerful Khwarezmian Empire and no Mongol invasions, the dynamics of the Crusades and subsequent interactions between Europe and the Islamic world would be different, potentially leading to different territorial and political outcomes in the Levant, China, and East Asia. Southern Song Dynasty's fate. The Southern Song dynasty in China might not fall to the Mongols. Without the Mongol invasions, the Song dynasty could have continued to develop its economy and culture, potentially leading to an even more advanced and prosperous Chinese civilization. Korean and Japanese relations. Korea and Japan might not experience the Mongol invasions. This could lead to different developments in their political and cultural histories, with less disruption and destruction during the 13th century. Russia and Eastern Europe. Absence of the Golden Horde. The Mongol invasions and subsequent rule by the Golden Horde had a profound impact on Russian history. Without Mongol domination, the development of Russian principalities would follow a different trajectory, possibly leading to earlier unification and different political structures. Byzantine Empire. The Byzantine Empire might not face the same pressures from the East, potentially allowing it to recover and strengthen. This could lead to a prolonged existence and influence of the Byzantine Empire in Eastern Europe and the Mediterranean. Indian subcontinent. No Delhi Sultanate disruption. The Mongol invasions into the Indian subcontinent created significant disruptions. Without these invasions, the Delhi Sultanate might have enjoyed greater stability, leading to different political and cultural developments in India. Enhanced trade. The Khwarezmian Empire's control over Central Asia could lead to stronger trade ties with India, fostering a robust exchange of goods, culture, and technology. Technological and cultural exchange. Slower technological spread. The Mongol Empire's vast network facilitated the rapid spread of technologies such as gunpowder, printing, and navigational techniques. Without this network, the diffusion of these technologies might be slower, leading to different timelines for technological advancements globally. Cultural synthesis. The Khwarezmian Empire, as a central hub of trade, would foster significant cultural and technological exchange between East and West. This would create a unique cultural synthesis in Central Asia, influencing art, science, and technology development. Global trade routes. Silk Road. Dominance. The Khwarezmian Empire's control over the Silk Road would lead to a centralization of trade in Central Asia. The empire's stability and prosperity would make it a critical hub for East-West trade, possibly leading to earlier and more extensive global trade networks. Maritime exploration. With the Khwarezmian Empire dominating land trade routes, European powers might still pursue maritime exploration to establish direct trade links with Asia. This could lead to the Age of Exploration happening in a slightly different context, but still driven by similar economic motivations. Long-term impact on global politics. Different colonial patterns. The altered trade routes and political dynamics could influence European colonialism. Different early interactions with Asia and a potentially stronger Central Asia could lead to different colonial patterns and impacts on the Americas and Africa. Alternate power centers. The absence of the Mongol Empire could lead to the development of alternate power centers in Central Asia, China, and the Middle East. These regions might exert greater influence on global politics, creating a more multipolar world earlier in history. In this alternate scenario, the defeat of the Mongols by the Khwarezmian Empire would lead to significant changes in global history. Central Asia would emerge as a dominant and prosperous region, influencing global trade, cultural exchange, and political dynamics. Europe, China, and other regions would develop differently without the Mongol conquests, leading to a world that is distinct in its political structures, technological advancements, and cultural exchanges. While the specifics are speculative, the overarching impact would be a more interconnected yet differently balanced world. In this alternate scenario where the Khwarezmian Empire defeats the Mongols and captures or kills Genghis Khan, the course of history would be dramatically altered. The Khwarezmian Empire would rise as a dominant power in Central Asia, experiencing enhanced prestige, territorial expansion, and economic prosperity. The absence of the Mongol Empire would significantly reshape the political, cultural, and technological landscapes across Europe, Asia, and beyond. Central Asia would benefit from increased stability and prosperity under Khwarezmian dominance, becoming a central hub for trade and cultural exchange along the Silk Road. Europe might see a delayed or altered renaissance with different outcomes in the Crusades and a distinct evolution of its political and cultural dynamics. China's Southern Song dynasty could continue to thrive, leading to different developments in East Asia, while Russia and Eastern Europe might avoid the fragmentation caused by Mongol invasions. The Indian subcontinent would likely experience greater stability and enhanced trade connections with Central Asia. Technological and cultural exchanges would occur at a different pace, fostering a unique synthesis in the Khwarezmian Empire. Global trade routes and maritime exploration would develop under different motivations, potentially influencing the patterns and impacts of European colonialism. Overall, the world in this alternate scenario would feature a more interconnected yet differently balanced global landscape. The Khwarezmian Empire's victory would lead to a period of stability and growth in Central Asia, shaping the development of civilizations and influencing global history in profound and lasting ways. While we have no way of knowing exactly how history would play out, one thing is certain. Muhammad II made a grave mistake that costed his empire a chance to help shape the world today. It is truly amazing to think that one decision can alter the course of history forever. Until next time, let's all learn from history together.